am I? I'll tell you who I am. I'm a descendant of the biggest ancestral migration of the Bantu tribe, from the Tanganyika and Baka tribal regions. I come from the center of the earth, where the equator line cuts the world in two. From a time before a small group of men played dominoes with the land, and the scrabble for Africa began. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anna Muleka, and this is my story. My ancestors come from the true cradle of life, where the first woman walked the earth. From a belief in Vadzimu, which holds that the ancestral spirits may choose to return in times of crisis. My great ancestor Nehanda walked out of Guru Uswa, the tall dense grass at the center of the earth, 70,000 years ago. It was many years later the ancestors grew restless. You must leave, they told the people. They looked up and saw Hungwe, the fish eagle, circling as the elders spoke of faraway places. The great Bantu migration began. The people followed where Hungwe led. And when they grew tired, the great bird circled above and waited while people rested. It was many years later that Hungwe finally landed, and the people laid the first stone of the great Zimbabwe Empire. Mine is a lineage of kingdoms, chieftains, and kingship. The sun rose with the spirits of my ancestors between the mighty Yambeji River, which gushes down at Mosiwotunya and snakes alongside Dipororotemate River, all the way to the Indian Ocean. My ancestors lived during the mighty Roju, Mbire, Wata, and Mwenemutapa dynasties of kings. They ruled for centuries. King Nyatsimba Mutota, the first warrior prince of the Mwenemutapa state, was father to Nyamika Charwe, who embodied the ancestral spirit of Nehanda, who gifted us rain and good harvest. Gainai! Tinanwa mnasabe, tinanwa mnasabe, tinanwa mnasabe, mondoro tinonwa 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 mnasabe, mondoro tinonwa. Nehanda is my ancestor, and I'm filled with pride. She was embodied by many mediums in a long line. Toreva, Matope, Gumbore Shumba, Soronzo, Chaminuka, Changamire, and my direct ancestor, Murenga. Nehanda is bound to our Bantu heritage by the lion totem, Shikiro Yemondoro. As am I. My totem is Sokomokanya, the baboon, the spy, always looking out for danger. Sokomongane, the one who gathers the people. And Vasikana Vachitonga, female leader. I am honored to share the same totem as the found ancestor of Zimbabwe, Murenga, who gave us the famous word, Chimurenga, uprising. It was during Charwe, I understand that everything changed. A very, very sick 17-year-old Cecil Rhodes was sent to live with his brother in Natal, and he soon discovered power. Dear fellow, remember you're an Englishman and have consequently won the first prize in the lottery of life. Just imagine how our history would be shaped today if he had never set foot there. At first we thought, well, maybe it's a bloody British sense of humor. I've chili into it. He was too arrogant. Taxation on my hut, which I built with my own hands. I have to pay you for my hut? What is this taxation? Hut tax. Hut tax. The first time we heard the words, we thought maybe it was the name of an acute infestation of scabies. Just like the bedroom tax here in 2012. You remember it? This one didn't go down well either. The hard tax provoked our first rebellion. From the heart of the great Zimbabwe Empire, the House of Stones, Nehanda led the first Chimurenga War. In Matabeleland, they called it Umvuhela, and it was Loziwe Ndlondlo who stepped in. She supported Nehanda to unite the tribes. I can imagine the dialogue now between my ancestors calling on our people to fight and that of the early settlers. We must protect our sacred land. We must fight. We will never let the bloody natives get the better of us. It is our nation, the land of our ancestors. None of that heathen mass is a match for a Winchester. Fire and fire again. Torema Banga, take the Banga, Jimbo Museve, defend what is rightfully yours. Advance, no quarter given. Let the enemy fall like feathers to the ground. Torema Banga, Gati way on us, Punofiwa, it way on Chiburanga. Got it way! Boo! Garabi! Boo! Garabi! 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 Hey Muganame! Hey Muganame! Hey Muganame! Hey Muganame! Hey Muganame! What? nagola obani bayeza sala wedodo usungule kale ungaze nagola obani bayeza kulema wezulu Nehanda and Kaguvi walked heads bowed, hands bound. They faced their execution with grim courage. Nehanda's last words were, "My bones will rise again. My bones shall rise again. My bones will rise again." The British, in their fear and savagery, cut Nehanda's head from her corpse. They sent it and those of other Chimurenga leaders as a gift to Queen Victoria. To this day, we do not know where her head lays. My bones will rise again. And they did in the second Chimurenga uprising. When Nehanda's bones rose again, it was Majuona who embodied Nehanda's spirit. Today, in Zimbabwe, there is talk of another Nehanda. A young girl not strong enough to understand her powers. The bones are rising again! I have a name that echoes my lineage. They know me as Hamunyare Mudzingwa Sanyama Mandawe Mudeka. I was born under a strong sky of an African dawn. Seamed with gold, rivers reached up and ate the night stars. Zimbabwe, the ancestors held court in the sacred hills. Zimbabwe, a land cut from the stone of eternity. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe. Some of you will remember the summer of 1976. They do this every time. That's when I was born. It was a fever hot summer for you here in the UK, but in Zimbabwe it was winter. I can imagine wrapped up warm in a matching shawl, bonnet and booties. As I grew older, cheerfully padding about barefoot with my cousins in the dusty streets. After breakfast, my aunties would use pebbles and mounds of earth to tell us stories of our ancestors, great empires and fictional worlds. When all the neighborhood children got up, would play pada. Raka raka. No. The boys wouldn't let us play bora, so we let them play Dunu instead. Was my favorite. I spent ages plotting how I was going to beat my opponents. And then it would be my team's turn to play. Then straight to no. Those are the boards you remember. Those are the bora kuzoka. No kutura. Yay, it's a winner! I'm glad not much has changed even now. My grandfather nicknamed me Bushman. Don't know why. I was called Anna after my grandmother. An only child I grew up with my grandparents. There were 12 of us. That's my dear mother in the middle. We lived in a 2-bedroom bungalow. And that's Auntie Taka on the right. Auntie Taka loved plaiting my hair. Unfortunately, we didn't share the same passion. She would pull so tight, I would look like I had a facelift. That's Uncle David, me, Patience, and Mutsa. The 3 of us were inseparable from the age of 5. We spent ages pushing each other up and down in my old pram, and then sit on the side of the street and watch the adults go about their work. That's my dear grandmother. She was a powerful woman, my grandmother. She would use storytelling to diffuse squabbling amongst us. Paivapo, she would call out. Paivapo! And one by one, would answer. Zefunde! 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 Paivapo! I think that was the reaction as well when I was growing up. And then she would call again. Paivapo!
Zefunde!
Paivapo!
Zefunde!
And then the story would begin. How Tsuro always outwitted the baboon. How the children got told off for not listening to the adults. And my favorite story of all. How the poor, quiet man ended up with the most beautiful girl in the village. My grandmother was one of the last in the family to truly hold the sacred songs of the ancestors. She'd sing at the birth of a new child in the township. Ewe, nyarara mwana, mwana no chemera, kuchemera maivake, vaenda miri kwa mangezi kune banga jena rekucheka nyama, nyama ndekwarore. She would lay to rest the dying. Fambai nae nae baba. Fambai nae baba. Sometimes she would be summoned by the ancestors. She'd go very quiet, close her eyes, and become transformed. We were entranced. As the children, it was our job to go and get the hari and mokombe. Because the ancestors are always thirsty when they arrive. You know, before you have a drink, we should always pour a little bit into the earth to appease the thirst of the ancestors. My grandparents combined cultures in them. She, the Church of England, and my grandfather, Roman Catholic. Their legacy to us was the freedom of choice. I was 3 or 4 years old when I learned to navigate another Zimbabwe, a country called Rhodesia. Leaflets falling from the sky. Support your own people. Freedom is coming. Now is our time. And the Mujibas will be marching up and down. Hoi! 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 I learned that there were streets I couldn't cross because they belonged to white people. I learned that playing bira in public put my people in prison by the Rhodesian government. At night, I heard the songs of war. Buyane handa kufava chitaura shua tinotora seinyika inoshoko rimwe ravakatiudza tora kidi uzvitonge Buyane handa kuvava chitaura shua kuti tinotora seinyika inoshoko rimwe ravakatiudza tora kidi uzvitonge.
I am the Mumvamaropa tree. My body cries blood of the damned. My spirit lives with many in their homes without realizing. We are plenty. Mumvamaropa weropa dio hama. Such is the strength of my healing powers. No one sees my color as harm. My red tears are nothing but a cure to your eyes. Hevo, ubobo wasvipira maziso, pasina ini. Hadzairira nhare menyu. I'm the blood from Mumvamaropa tree. I cure your eyes and souls by the wood of my body. Nanga never zimuvoronda. Mbira can never sound so sweet without my offering as the body for the prongs. I dye the nails of the Gwenyambira players to blood red. My veins sap the spirit of Mbuyane Handa Nyakaskana. Mumvamaropa is my name.
Mumvamaropa is my name. The mbira is made using Mumvamaropa tree. The base is made of the wood. The front is made of metal keys. Thousands of years we've been playing this music to honor the spirits of the ancestors, for joy, and also to soothe troubled souls. This music has the same status as the Beethoven, the Mozart, the Bach music in the Western culture. We play mbira music. We put mbira inside the leze, which is the big round calabash, and that is to help enhance the sound. And we use both our thumbs and our pointing finger to pluck the keys, and we produce the sound we call mbira music. I'm going to play a song for you, which is called Karigamombe. Karigamombe in Shona translates to grabbing the bull by the horns. And I want to play a song which I would like to dedicate to the children of Zimbabwe for the pain they're going through. Thank you. At the age of 13, I remember asking myself, who am I? I started questioning my father's role in my life. Who was this man who looked so much like me? Who I would sometimes bump into in the street and would just greet each other like old acquaintances. Yes, manangu. Hey, baba. Rewrite. And rewrite. What is it, Makumba? I've right. Ruganda kupi. Tatuma msika ntenga madomas. Are you being a good girl? Eh. Here's 20 cents. Buy yourself some sweets. Pretend. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I would recall living with him as a child. The smell of burning kerosene for light at night. The sound of the bees, the bright sunlight. And the public tap in the compound where my mother would always find me playing with water. And the stinging, ow, at the back of my legs as she slapped me. Oh, but she was an elegant lady. And my father, strong athletic figure, his dreams to be a footballer. And all that ended. And I was at my grandmother's house. I was turning 14 and discovering the mbira. Every year, once a year, all the most famous musicians would roll into town, fill the stadium, and would go home and copy all their moves on stage and dream of their life on stage. Tila, 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 eh. Rugari Township was a hive for music. From the Zimbabwean tribes living in Rugari, but also the Chewa and the Nyanja, economic migrants who'd moved from Malawi to work for the railways. Me and my friends would spy on their rituals, especially the Nyao mask dance of the Chewa and the Nyanja. It was fascinating watching their greeting on the street. A gentleman would kneel on one side of the street, and the lady would be on the other side. And they'd say, "Waribanji bambo." "Ah, tiribanji." "Waribanji wana kunyumba." "Ah, waribanji." "Ah, sikomo kayo." "Ah, sikomo." Off they went. I have such strong ties with my ancestral village. I'd often get sent to fetch my great-grandmother to visit the family in the city. I have fond memories of cooked pumpkins, sweetened by the heat from the sun, boiled vegetables and ground nuts, infused with smoke, and tea. Tea made from grounded tata seeds. Those were the days of song, the song of strong women. Nehanda, Charwe, Lozike, Mbuya Mudeka, Mbuya Chikundi, and my dear mother, Evelyn. I'd like to play a song for you now, called Surud. Surud is about eating good food, and I do like good food. Sad times were coming. Grandmother was growing ill. She'd been to visit countless Nganga, Sangoma, witch doctors. One of them even promised if she handed me over to marry one of his stupid sons, he could cure her. Where would I be now if she'd made that bargain? She knew her time was short, and when she lost all desire to eat, would prepare fresh papayas from the tree, cucumber with salt and pepper and chili. I sat down with her as she gifted me her knowledge of healing plants. Ana Musukuru. Ukuruona gavakava. This one is good for period pain. Aya, mashizha emugwavai. These get rid of a bad cough. Chifumuro. This one protects you from bad spirits. Zinyamunga. This one gets rid of wind. Tsangamidzi. You know Tsangamidzi? Yeah. This one is good for the whole body. Mumvamaropa. Burn its leaves before going to bed. It stops madzimekira. Nightmares. Cut the tree down and it bleeds. At the age of 16, I already had a wealth of music and dance in my bones. When King George arrived in Rugare from Bulawayo, a member of the famous Black Umpolosi. We three sisters were part of the 15-piece dance troupe. And we're called Idwala Elikulu, the big rock. We danced, we sang, and would go home and show my grandmother everything we'd learned. It made us so happy. Chero imba yakachena should say. As long as the house was clean. One day, King George cycled from the city on his BMX to the rehearsals. And he came into the rehearsals, he says, Dinez winners wanduda kukudzai. So we all gathered. And he said, I've just signed us to a big agency in the city. They're going to catapult us out of the township and we're going to play the music of our ancestors far and wide. Who the man, hey? King George, you're the man! One of my highlights was welcoming the national football team when they won Africa's Cup of Nations. We even made it onto the television and the newspapers. It was amazing. One of the agency directors started spending more and more time at the rehearsals, helping King George choreograph the dances. He was crazy about football and would not stop talking about his beloved Norwich City football team. We watched Norwich beat Bayern Munich. We were all celebrating that day. The agency director and me got close. But it was time for him to come back to the UK. His visa had run out. So I threw myself into understanding the music of my ancestors. When I danced and when I played the drums, I could feel my ancestors straying close. Every time. I still do. But Mbuya was growing very, very ill. And I was feeling so sad. The cancer had spread all over her body. In that black time, I found solace in Thomas Mapfumo and Effort Mujuru's music, especially Thomas Mapfumo with his Chimurenga music. Although they used Modern instruments alongside the mbira and marimba, they spoke words of our ancestors. Words about real lives, our lives. I wonder. Imagine my joy when me, Patience and Mozart were invited to join first Mujuru's band and then Thomas. We were only 17 at the time, but we had the music of our ancestors in our bones. The agency director invited me to the UK, and I took the opportunity to come and see what it was like. What amazed me was how female artists had the same respect and opportunities as the men. Nobody was looking at them as if they were pieces of meat on stage. I admired that so much, and I'd already been questioning how was I going to branch out on my own in Zimbabwe, the challenges I would have to face being a woman. The opportunity to leave Zimbabwe came. I was ready, but I was torn. My grandmother performed the ceremony to the ancestors on a deathbed, calling on them to protect me on this journey I was about to take. 3 weeks after I arrived in the UK, I found out she'd passed away peacefully, surrounded by the whole family. Upenyu wakanaka ndashedzwa newe rufu ndisina kusvipira ndakange ndichifara upenyu wakanaka ndashedzwa newe rufu ndisina kusvipira onai rufu wakabanepi kudimurira urawawa
Flight UM17 boarding from gate 2. Passengers booked on flight UM17 Harare to London Gatwick. Please go to gate 2. This is the last call for passengers booked on flight UM17 Harare to London.
I climbed the steps to the aeroplane at Harare International Airport. It felt different from the last time I flew. I didn't know when I was going to see Zimbabwe again. This time, I carried almost nothing for a new life. I waved goodbye to the strong line of women who stood behind me, from Nehanda to my mother. And as the plane lifted and my old world hid from view, I held my mbira, my hope, and had no idea what waited for me the other side of the world. Wakambotarisa here jenga jenga, ukaona zviso zvepasi chigare. Unomboteerera here mhepo mimiti, uchinzwa mazwi emadzitateguru. Unomboteerera masaisai egungwa, uchinzwa dzimbo dzekare kare. Vachitaura, 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 vachitirangarira kwawakabva, kwanoenda usiku, biritira zuva ranhasi, remangwana rine zvaro. Ndoda kutamba, ndoda kuimba, ndoda kuridza mbira, ndoda magaro. Ndoda kutamba, ndoda kuimba, ndoda kuridza ngoma, ndoda magaro. Ndoda rusununguko, ndoda rusununguko, ndoda rusununguko, ndoda rusununguko, ndoda rusununguko, ndoda rusununguko.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking on flight UM17 Harare to London Gatwick. We are now preparing our descent for landing, and on this very fine August morning the temperature outside is a pleasant 19 Celsius. Don't forget to reset your watches to Greenwich Mean Time, which is precisely 0700 hours local time. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. On behalf of Air Zimbabwe and our entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip and wish you all a very pleasant stay in the United Kingdom.
I looked out of the window and everything looked different. I felt scared, lonely, I felt small. I couldn't feel the touch of the ancestors anymore. But I remembered my grandmother's words. Believe in yourself and remember who you are.
All passengers to passport control. All passengers to passport control.
Identify yourself. Name and country of origin.
My name is Anna Modeka and I'm from...
What is the purpose of your visit?
The purpose of my visit...
Why are you here? Answer the question.
I have come to claim Neander's head.
You come to claim who? What, are you a princess or what?
I'll tell you who I am. I'm Anna Hamunyara Mundeka, daughter to Alexander and Evelina, granddaughter of Anna and Dennis, a descendant of Neander Nyamikanyaga Sikana.
Taxi right to the left.
Oh, you want a challenge? I was just over there.
Could really do with a nice cuppa. It's been raining cats and dogs all this summer.
Can't you see the signs? The loos are over there. You have to pay to use the loos here.
Don't look at me like that. It's just the way it is. 10 or pence.
Poor blimey.
Take the underground. That'll be your best bet.
Hey, watch out. Stand on the right and keep moving on the left. Please mind the gap. Doors closing. Please mind the gap. Doors closing.
London. I looked around, trying to identify some of the places I'd seen on postcards in Zimbabwe. Tall skyscrapers, clean streets, Harrods, Buckingham Palace. But I couldn't see them from the window of my dingy little flat in Walthamstow. There were so many different nationalities, so many different ways of being. What struck me the most was how everybody was closed, almost rude. No gentle greeting on the street. It was a city of mazake, each to their own. One day I was coming home when I saw these two teenage girls mid-conversation. So, I said, right? Really? And then, he said, right? He never. And then, I said, right? You never. I can't believe you say that. That's so funny. This old lady came to them and she said, excuse me, I'm looking for piss off. Can you see we're talking? I was shocked that a young person would talk to an adult like that. If that was Zimbabwe, and in my community, somebody would have said, Urimwana wani? Whose child are you?
I'm from Uganda.
I'm from England.
I am South African.
I am from Ivory Coast.
I am Twana.
I am from Angola.
I'm from Kenya. Kenya.
Ibala set up workshops in schools, teaching African music and dance, and I worked with African bands. One day on the underground, from exhaustion, trying to make sense of this rat race, I saw an enormous poster of a judo, just like seeing Idwala Elekulu and King George all over again. Ajido, the Manchester United of African dance. I had one thought in my head: to become part of the company, to connect with Africa again. I had to audition. The boys laughed when I said I'd have to teach them the rhythm I wanted to dance to. A girl drumming would end up dancing like this. So I showed them. I said, drummers, this side, this is your rhythm. And I said, this side, this is your rhythm. What? What? Ankle. What? I dance for Nyanda, for Lucy K, for Majwani, for Mbuya Mudeka, for Mbuya Chikundi, for my dear mother, for the children I would have in the future. I was in a trance when suddenly everything stopped. The whole room was quiet. And after that, they knew that girls could drum. And I passed the audition. It was difficult fitting in with that judo. Oh my goodness. But I learned, watched, rehearsed, danced. There were so many arguments. Backstabbing, politics, affairs, and all sorts. It was actually suffocating. I couldn't stay anymore. And home life was no better. So I said my goodbyes and left Ajido. Mona, you've really been like a mother to me. Thank you. Sylvie girl, I always remember you. Stop arguing so much. Big Joe, I'll never go out with you. Mr. D, thank you so much for the opportunity. Norfolk. And I had to start all over again. This time in an egg factory. I worked hard, got promoted to supervisor. The other workers didn't like it very much. So the name calling started. It was uncomfortable. So it was time to move on. Did bar work, waitressing, whatever I could, so that I could still play my music. My mom would often write, "So, how's London?" "Mom, I live in Norfolk now." "Oh, is that in London? Have you met the Queen yet? Are you making a lot of money?" No. Sometimes I close my eyes, see the hongwe circling above my head. I say, what am I doing here? Where am I going? My music was dying. The work-home life was getting increasingly difficult. One day I just walked out with the clothes I was wearing and never looked back. I questioned myself, had I made the right decision? What if? What if? What if? Freeing myself made me realize what I could do. I followed the hongwe in my dreams, opened my wings wide and glided. Was it a coincidence? Hello? Yes, it is Anna Mudeka. Whoa, Mad? No problem. Hello? Yes, it is. The Eden Project. Over there. Hello? MOD? Germany? Of course I can come. Hello? Would I? Croatia? Of course I can tour. Oh, finally. I could feel the energy of the ancestors. I was touring so much. I was hardly home long enough to wash my hair, let alone my knickers. In the middle of all that, I met my fiancé. More than 10 years later, and two very mischievous little girls, Evelyn and Kalina. I can say I feel at home in my adopted county of Norfolk. I can breathe in the big wide open spaces where the sky meets with the sea and the land. Evelina, Kalina, Evelina, na Kalina, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Evelina, Kalina, Evelina, na Kalina, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Ndakamirira makore makumi matatu kuti muye mupenyu wangu muzianda kakukumbatira izvimhandara zvangu upenyu wangu wakachinja zvachose mukufara nemukusuwa vana vangu inovimba tichanga tiri tozosvika nyadenga atiparadzanisa mafaro munondipa vana vangu akadzama kupfuura nyanza Evelina, Kalina, Evelina, na Kalina, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. On the surface, I should have been happy. I'd even been given an award for being the most influential woman for the promotion of African culture and the arts worldwide. I'd also set up a charity to provide orphans with an education as a way of giving back to my beloved Zimbabwe. But having lived in two cultures, I found myself looking for a deeper desire to understand who I was. I was looking for a meaning which was not defined by external events, but rooted in something much deeper. My search led me on a mystical and spiritual journey of researching, reading, writing, talking to the elders, and discovering my people's origins. I wanted to experience home that has nothing to do with the external world. As I looked out of the window at the Norfolk countryside, I could see Hungwe calling me to climb upon her back, calling me back to Guru Uswa, to the land of the ancestors where all life started on earth. There, I could walk in the tall grass and understand my true place on this earth. In Latin, atavism translates to ancestors. In Twi, Sankofa is a belief that we must look back to the past to correct the future. In Yoruba, Eshu is the misfortune that is brought to our lives when we're not in balance with that which surrounds us. In Zulu, we say umuntu, ngumuntu, ngabantu. A person is a person because of other people. Umuntu, ngumuntu, ngabantu. Umuntu, ngumuntu, ngabantu. We got that anyway. I've been fortunate to have got the best out of the two cultures I live in. I touch the soil of Zimbabwe. I wear Zimbabwe inside me like an inner skin. It is my heartbeat. But I also carry England with me. When I'm in Zimbabwe, I feel the same breeze sing through the jacaranda and the mvamaruka trees. And I know that it blows in the beach and pine trees the other side of the world. Zimbabwe. Nyika yandinoda, inyika yandinoda, nyika yandinoda. Zimbabwe, which gave me the music, the voice, the education, to be able to share my culture the world over. To embrace my grandmother's words to my younger self. Believe in yourself and remember who you are. To the UK, for nurturing the music, the voice, and for the opportunity to inspire generations the world over with a truly rich cultural heritage, regardless of my gender or race. To the woman of 42, knowing it's possible. To the strong man who feels equal to you. Listens and supports all your crazy ideas. And says, I'll just do it. At least fail trying. To the strong women's lineage behind us and ahead of us. For that, we should be truly, truly grateful. Truly, truly grateful. Totenda, Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe chiuya, Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe chiuya, nyika yandinoda, nyika yandinoda, nyika yandinoda, nyika yandinoda. nyika ya Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe chiuya, Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe chiuya, inyika ya ndinoda, inyika ya ndinoda, inyika ya ndinoda, inyika ya ndinoda, nyika ya ndinoda, inyika ya ndinoda, nyika ya ndinoda, inyika ya ndinoda. As I walk on the empty beaches of Norfolk with the ancestors, I realize we're a wealth of generations. In our blood, in our DNA, we are part of everyone and everything that has lived and walked this earth. Whatever our beliefs, we have far more in common than that which sets us apart. Our lineage, our totems define who we are. I am Sokomukanya, the baboon. Mondoro, the lion. Mbizi, the antelope. Hungwe, the fish eagle. Ziva, the big river. Mofu, the wildebeest. We are all one. Our oral traditions have guided us to remember the great Bantu migration, the crossing of rivers and oceans from country to country. My heritage, my identity, my DNA. So I wanted to know if my DNA would confirm who I am. I needed science to be able to confirm the oral traditions and knowledge that has been passed through the years and answer the questions. Who am I? Where have I come from? I discovered this DNA has a very, very rich cultural heritage. A future and a lineage passed down to my daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the other genders, my name is Anna Mudeka. I am a proud Bantu, Munu, Omuntu. I'm a granddaughter, a daughter, a mother, a sister, a friend, an auntie. I'm a performer, a musician, a cultural activist. I've traveled far and wide, and my journey to becoming an ancestor has only just begun. So now, I'd like to share with you something truly unique. The results of my DNA. Would you like to know? Yeah, boy. So, the results of my DNA doesn't look too good. 50% British, 10% Chinese. Josie, you've given me the wrong paper. I'll be back. What did you say?
Congolese.
Congolese? Oh, sorry. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is my last song. Kure, kure, kure. Kure, kure, kure. Kure, kure, kure. Kure, kure, kure. Kure, One day you will touch the corner.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Arriving in your Gabriel show and in your shower suit to exchange before the very own second. One day in the garden, we shall walk.
Well, Maltings, thank you.
My day in Janita's house. The three of us like we used to be, and nobody could separate us. Singing. Kutamba na nyoka, handidi kutamba na nyoka. Kutamba na nyoka, handidi kutamba na nyoka. Iyo inoruma, iyo inoruma, iyo inoruma. One day we shall come out of BE19 where it all started. Walking, heading towards the hall where we shall meet King George, Clifford, Memo, Simon, Major. We shall sing. One day, we shall fly those planes which will take us to those foreign lands. We shall tell them about Rugare, Harare, Zimbabwe, Africa. One day we shall bring them back to show them our Rugare. One day we shall walk those streets, all three of us, like when we were young. Mutsa, Anna Peshi, with the children following us singing. Chiponde changu, chanda kapiwa, chanda kapiwa, nasa Samatenga Navo Pasi. One day we shall have fun in Rugare like we used to. There will be celebrations with plenty of chibuku, nyama, mupunga, uku ne mazoe. The children singing Chiponde Changu. Chiponde Changu. Chanda Kabiwa. One day we will take the combi, destination Harare Airport, going back to the places where we now call home. And every day we will think of, dream of, tell the world about Rugare. For without her, we would be nothing. No one. One day, every day, someday, Rugare. Never Nuvayo. With her family, with her people. Rugare.